guys, welcome back to FX Rhapsody. Today we're going to be looking at the US dollar Japanese yen, and we're also going to be looking at the euro USD. But let's start off with UJ. Now on the monthly time frame, we can see this big supply area that has formed over here. We've talked about the supply zone before. We can see also that there's a trend line that's been running down, that the dollar has been going in, or bouncing in. When I draw trend lines, what I'd like to do always is draw a trend line, make a mirror copy, and just pull it down to the downside, just to see if there's a kind of a zone, of a trend going down or up. And in this case, we can see this trend going down for UJ. We can see that this area of supply, price moved down, and so obviously we're expecting price from this area. If it does not break this trend line, we're expecting price to move down to the downside. So on a weekly time frame, what we see here is, let me just be able to move, there we go. On a weekly time frame, we can see this little bit of a resistant area turn support. Now this is also a nice key area because it was a strong resistance where price couldn't break through it, and eventually price broke through it. Price broke through here and then price came down to retest this zone. So now this is where the key area is currently. On a monthly time frame, we're expecting price to break through. On a weekly time frame, it's just quite the opposite. We can see that price broke through it, came back. So obviously, what we are expecting price to go up. But yeah, it's going to be a very interesting area, if I can say that, on a weekly time frame. So basically, if we have to drill down to the daily, or let's not have to, but let's drill down to the daily. So here we can see nicely this area over here. Just wanted to, here we go, adjust it slightly. So we can see here that this area was broken. It came back to retest it. Now just for interest's sake, we pulled the Fibonacci out just to see what happened. Price went up, came back and retested in between the 50 and 61%, straight into this area, basically, that's support area or the resistance area on the weekly turn support, bounced up, and currently it is testing that area. So we also can draw a trend line here. There we go. And again, with that, we just make a copy of it, we drill it down, and just for reference sake, so we can see that price have been moving in an upwards direction on a daily. Currently it's broken, it's tapped the top of this trend line, came down. So two scenarios, obviously. On a monthly, we see that price, or we're expecting price on that big trend line to be moving downwards. So what we can expect from next week is either price is just going to go up again to tap that to come down, or we are expecting price to break this area of support. It has been tapping it for a couple of days, not being able to break it. Will this week coming be the time that it breaks that support area and come back, basically wick this area, meaning it will touch the supply area, come close below that trend line and head down and start our movement to the downside. So it's going to be an interesting time for UJ next week. So let's keep a close eye on it, and then when we see price here making a break, and we will drill down to the 4 hourly, and then we will get better entries on that. So let's move on to Euro USD. There we go. Now on a monthly time frame, let's just expand this better. Okay, so on a monthly time frame, we can also see this area of supply or resistance. Basically, it's a nice big area. There we go. We can see that the euro tapped it, came down, came up again, retested this area, and basically not being able to break it yet. So again, being price action and all, looks like it's making a little bit of a double top. We're expecting price to start falling from this side. So if we drill down, I'm not going to do the weekly, we're just going to drill down to the daily, on a daily time frame. There we go. Let's just expand this a bit. I just wanted to draw my trend lines quickly. You can see that the euro have been moving basically in a trend line or in the zone basically. Just wanted to draw this better. There we go. So basically just wanted to, nope, that's not what I wanted to do. I just wanted to make a nice mirror image of this, so I can show you guys the movement to the upside, the trend going up, and we can see that the euro started falling, came down, and it broke this trend line, came, and it's busy doing a thing here. So it's busy trying to move up. We can also see this area of resistance, or it was a big support area basically, that turned resistance. So you can see that price broke through the trend line, came up to this area here. You can see that was a big support area. Price couldn't break through it. Price tried multiple times, and eventually when it broke and it came back, and it's busy basically doing its retest. We can also see with this big move to the downside, just draw Fibonacci, expand it a bit more. So you can see that price came down, came back, retested this. Basically, it wicked the 71%. It closed the week with Friday. It closed just in that zone between the 50 and 61%. And then what we're expecting, obviously, is price to move down to the downside. But will that happen? I don't know yet. It's going to be interesting times. But let's see. Let's just scroll down to the 4 hours, just for interest's sake. Let's see what it did on the 4 hours. Okay, now in 4 hours, I just wanted to, there we go, adjust my trend line slightly. Guys, you can adjust your trend lines when you draw it on a bigger time frame, and then when you drill down to the lower time frames, you can just slightly adjust it, just to so that the wicks, and everything, it makes sense in a way. So basically, you can see that the price was coming into the zone. It had a false breakout of that trend line, started respecting it again, moved up, and eventually respected, and eventually it broke, came back. Look how nicely it retested that trend line over there. And then basically there was a slight support and resistance area where it broke, and it went down eventually. So, and also you can see this this area that I was talking about just now on a daily. So let's just take that out, and then what we're expecting is now prices in this zone, like we said, in this resistance zone. So what we're thinking, or what we're saying, is that if we look at the movement of price to the upside, so we're expecting price to make a retracement back. And look here, this is what I'm seeing. So you draw your Fibonacci, and then you can see that price is this zone over here, that 50% zone. And if you can look a little bit to the left, you can see where that false breakout. Look at that area of support and look at where it lines up. So basically, you can also see this nice W formation formed with a movement to the upside, and whenever there's a W formation, we know that price will start pulling back and before it makes another move. So guys, there's lots of confirmations when it comes to this pair, and especially this time now. So we can see this on to the left, we can see the support area. We can see this support area was a bit of resistance before it broke out, and now we're expecting price to come back to this area. So we'll be looking at a nice sell for next week until it gets to this area over here, and then we will closely monitor it. Will it break this area, or will it bounce back up to this resistance area before it starts heading down, like we saw on the daily time frame and on the monthly, that we saw that big supply area on the top. So guys, it's going to be interesting times this next week for these two pairs, so keep an eye on them, and yeah, hope you guys have a wonderful weekend. Like this video, post your comments in the comment section, subscribe to this channel, and hit that notification bell so you can be notified whenever I post some new analysis or strategies. Guys, again, have a wonderful weekend and happy trading.